He is one of the standards for professional boxing in Council Bluffs and the metro area. And he is the new WBO lightweight champion of the world. An exclusive television interview. The Lady Reavers look to join an exclusive club. Iowa Western 1 win away. This ball club knows national championships, so how about a hat trick in 2014? So batter up. The Reavers putting up some numbers at home. Is it a preview of what's to come?
Hi, I'm Mark Reardon, head baseball coach at Iowa Western, and the Bluffs Sports Zone starts right now.
Hello, I'm J.J. Davis, and welcome to the latest edition of the Bluffs Sports Zone. 42 years ago, Council Bluffs native Ron Stander fought Smokin' Joe Frazier for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the Bluffs Butcher put up a good fight, but it wasn't enough. Now, 42 years later, an undefeated lightweight from Omaha goes toe-to-toe with history. 26-year-old Terrence Bud Crawford has come a long way. And I know because I was there. The year 2006. And here's how I introduced the metro area teenager to the rest of the world. They have all the wrappings of a champion. A 2008 Olympic gold medalist, perhaps? 18-year-old Terrence Crawford looms large over his future. And that future? Well, there for all eyes to see at the CW Boxing Club.
A lot of fighters don't come around like him. He's just got natural ability, just natural. Boxing just come natural to him.
Look natural, both hands in Mancuso Hall. The Bud Man, as I called him, ready to win the 2006 National Golden Gloves Tournament in Omaha.
Oh, I got to. I got to train hard, so I won't disappoint everybody.
And he didn't. Bud slugged his way through the 132-pound weight class, going 4-0, all the way to the finals.
Yeah, man, I can fight good both sides, but I just feel more comfortable at southpaw when I'm fighting a slick boxer like yourself.
April 29th, 2006, National Golden Gloves Finals. Bud Crawford goes toe-to-toe with Jesus Mendez III from Texas. And the fight goes to the judges. 3-2 split decision.
I'll be back.
And he was at the 2007 Olympic trials. Bud steps into the ring again in the 132-pound weight class. Now Crawford goes 2-2 and does not make the Olympic team. What next? Go pro, yes?
Yeah, turn professional. Look out for me.
Look out indeed. 7 years, 23 professional fights later, Bud Crawford is the WBO lightweight champion of the world. The Bud Man totally outclasses defending champ Ricky Burns in his native Scotland.
The new there it is, Terrence Crawford. Wow. Lightweight champion of the world.
A moment of history for the American.
Omaha,
the first Omaha born and raised world champion. It was thoroughly deserved.
And joining me right now is the WBO lightweight champion of the world, Terrence the Bud Man Crawford. Of the world. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, yeah, that's real big.
What about the belt? I know that's pretty big, too. I was expecting to see the belt.
Yeah, well, they got to send me one because the one that they gave me was his belt, and he get to keep that belt.
Oh, really? What do you make it at?
Well, that's his belt, you know. He get to cherish that for the rest of his life.
All right, now you were just telling me that I asked you, perchance, who did you call right after the fight, but you couldn't because your phone didn't get the service.
Right.
I mean, you're the champion of the world and everything. What was your first meal as a world champion?
I think I ate some chicken. Not fried though. You know.
And you like it better that way?
You know, I don't like fried chicken as much as I like bacon.
Okay. Now, some food for thought. Let's go back 10 years. You, by your own admission, have said that you were a tough kid. Then you meet this guy named Midge Minor, who kind of takes you under his wing in the CW Boxing Club. What do you remember about those early years?
Oh, it was hard, it was hard for me to cope with him, trying to make me into a man, because I didn't have that at the time.
You told me way back then that your father was a boxer, your grandfather was a boxer. When did you realize maybe, hey, I got the gift?
Well, actually, I didn't even know that I was a boxer until I started boxing.
Wow.
They used to always have me hit on their hands and everything, but they never was like, well, we was boxers and boxed for the CW Boxing Club. They never told me that.
When did you take it even further and think, maybe I can make something out of this?
Well, I had got kicked out the gym twice, because I wouldn't listen to Midge, and when I came back and I won the Nationals at 106, I just was like, man, I got something good here, and I just got serious with it.
I'm always told that you were serious. You were always like the first guy in the gym. You were always wondering where everybody was. You wanted opened up. You wanted to get your work in. But the 2006 Golden Gloves tournament, that was another instance where you really could put your name and face out there. And as I remember it, you won your first 4 fights, and it was truly a family affair. Everybody had a fun time, your mom, your family, remember?
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was very emotional, because that was the first time that everybody could see me fight. I was never fighting in Omaha, so Omaha really supported me a lot, thanks to you and the
Tony Boone, the writer.
Boone, and we just all, had very fun at that tournament.
I remember that night. You lost in the finals, that kid from Texas. Your feelings that night, what do you remember?
Oh, I remember, I just knew I had it won. The camera crew, everybody was taking pictures of me, everybody was congratulating me. I was just sitting up there happy, and when they called the other corner, I just looked and I just shook my head like, oh.
I remember you told me you thought they made a mistake.
I did. If you go back and look at that.
You could see your face.
Yeah. It was just like, he was surprised.
Yeah. So then it's off to the Olympic trials. You're going to fight in the 2007 Olympic trials to make the Olympic team. And you go 2-2, and obviously you don't make the Olympic team. But what was your goal all along? Gold medal, the Olympic team, or turn professional?
Well, I always wanted to turn pro. I wanted to turn pro at 17, but my coaches insist that I stayed and try to make the Olympic team and get stronger. And I think that was the best thing that could have happened.
B-Mac, one of your trainers, Brian McIntyre, told me that you weren't exactly the poster boy for USA boxing. So how hard was you to get money, funding, to train, to compete at a higher level?
Oh, it was very hard, with the help of my dad sending me money, and I had a little job working at Omaha Steaks. Then I had a job working at Gorman's Warehouse. But none of my jobs last probably any longer than a month or two because I had to really focus on training, and I spent my own money to travel a lot of times, and that's just how I had to do it.
You turned professional. 22-0 leading up to the title fight, and I see 16 knockouts? You? Do I remember Bud knocking guys out? What's the deal?
Well, I always could punch, but in the amateurs, it ain't about punching hard, because it's more harder to get a knockout in the amateurs than it is pro. So in the amateurs, you just trying to
Score points.
Yeah, get as many points as you can.
With the white part of the gloves.
Right.
Other differences between amateurism and turning professional, beside the obvious, the money. Other differences.
Oh, it's way different. It's, man, like the littlest shots, you feel them the next day. It's no headgear, little gloves. You got headbutts, elbows. You know, it get dirty in there at times.
Even when the referee comes to break it up, you got to cover up at all times because guys will swing coming out of the clinches, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. They always trying to get that little edge over you.
So you've always been known to have different styles. I've always found you to be able to fight others' fights, but you always want to fight your fight. You can go southpaw, you can switch it up a little bit. Did you find that you had success doing that at the pro level?
I found that out as an amateur. You know, when I was fighting those top elite guys and I was beating them, and I was noticing that I had a style that really too many people just couldn't pinpoint one style of mine.
And you know, some fighters don't like to fight southpaws because southpaws lead with their face, they used to say.
No, it's just a different stance, you know, and punches come from a different angle.
So how tough was it to get this title fight? I know a couple of years ago you filled in and you beat this guy Prescott, who was a contender, and suddenly everybody wanted to know who you were. Up to that point, how tough was it?
It was real tough. You know, they had me in the dark, you know, not fighting sometimes, but it was all in my manager's plan.
Really?
Like, he used to tell me, when you burst, everybody gonna be like, where this guy came from, you know, and it happened. But the people that really know boxing, they knew who I was.
Right.
But the public, they was like, man, where this guy came from.
Right.
You know, so it worked out fine.
We knew where you come from. We knew where you were going. Scotland, you fight this guy named Ricky Burns. He's making his 5th title defense in the lightweight division, WBO, and he's coming off a broken jaw. Now, you were telling me that you didn't get caught up in the hype. It was business.
Right. Yeah, it was business. I didn't go over there to make friends. I didn't go over there to be friends with anybody, or I just went over there for one thing, and that was to go get that belt. I didn't go over there to see Scotland or anything.
And you dictated the pace of that fight. I thought you took it to him, combinations, both hands. You were backing him up constantly throughout that fight.
I had to.
And now, days later, has it all sunk in yet?
Yeah, I think it sunk in when I came off that plane, when I seen all those people.
Yeah, the press was there to meet you, bud.
Everybody was there. I was, man, surprised.
All right, well, now you're the big dog, so now you get to call the shots. Will we see a title defense here in the metro area, Omaha, perchance?
Well, that's the plan. You know, June or July, we looking at the CenturyLink.
Of course, you got to keep in mind the Ron Standers of the world here from Council Bluffs. Remember good old Harley Cooper, 2-time Golden Gloves champ, early 60s from Omaha? Tradition, and does that mean something to you?
Oh, yeah, it does, you know, because those guys, you know, paved the way for younger guys like myself to, you know, become something.
Now you're making a lot of money. Not yet, by your standards, but by my standards, you're still making a lot of money. Are you still your father, 2 kids? Are you still going to remain the Bud that I know? Beneath this face, I still see that little boy. Are you still going to remain Bud, or are you going to let everything change you?
Nothing changed me. You know, I'm still the same guy. When I seen you yesterday, I was like, man, JJ, you know, because I ain't seen you in so long. It was just like, man, I miss you.
I miss you too, and I can't say enough. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for
It's
having
been a joy. When you won that world title, I think there was a piece of all of us who knew you win that were just elated, and words cannot describe.
Man, words can't describe.
Forever in my heart, Bud.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bud Crawford, the WBO lightweight champion of the world. That's right. Coming up next, we'll take a swing at some IWCC baseball. But first, the Nationals on the line in Canesville when we come back.
At Council Bluffs Savings Bank, our goal is to help you, your families, and your businesses grow and prosper for generations. We take pride in our community, whether it's volunteering our time or helping individuals, families, and businesses succeed. We provide you with the personal service and attention you deserve. With over 220 years of banking experience, decisions are made locally. We are Council Bluffs people operating at Council Bluffs Bank to help Council Bluffs be a better place to work and live. Council Bluffs Savings Bank. Hometown banking, the way it used to be. Member FDIC.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
This portion of the Bluffs Sports Zone brought to you by Cutler O'Neill, Meyer Woodring, family-owned funeral home, serving Council Bluffs in southwest Iowa for over 100 years.
They were tearing down the nets after the Lady Reavers won the regional championship. 8 was enough on this day. Next up for Iowa Western, well, another mountain to climb. Reach the summit, win the District K championship, and hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to the Nationals they go. Here's IWTV student Austin Heinen.
They file into Canesville one more time. Iowa Western takes to court to take on State Fair for a trip to Nationals. First possession, Jasmine Trimboli drives it in to put the Reavers on the board first. Roadrunners counter that with a 9-2 run. Antoinette Taylor buries it and won. 9-4 visitors. 4 minutes in, Big Blue running with them. Fonnie Chutrosh dish to Maddie Beagley. Home team down 11-8. The shootout continues. Adela Randall drills the tray, increasing the lead to 6 points. 11 minutes left. Randall goes in the paint for 2 more of her 19 points. 22-14 runners. A couple minutes later, Trimboli answers the call, dialing long distance, making it a 5-point game. State Fair goes on an 8-1 run. Randall sinks another of her 5 trays. 30-18 visitors. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Iowa Western rallies back. Janae Haig for the 3. Runners coach Kevin Butcher needs a break. Big Blue keeps rolling. Blair Harding to Chutrosh in transition. Reavers lead 34-33. Final possession of the first half. Randall in the final seconds drilled another tray. Roadrunners lead 39-38 at the break. Second half, runners get a 7-0 start. Alicia Cooley banks it in, 46-38. 14 minutes left, Trimboli drives through and delivers 2 of her 14 points. Reavers still down 51-42. State Fair staying hot. Cooley in the paint again, 55-42. Big Blue struggles with second half shooting, only 15 points. The Roadrunners steal the game and run away with it, 67-53.
First of all, State Fair played outstanding defense, but on the other hand, also we had some open looks and we just couldn't throw it in the ocean tonight. First thing we do is take a couple weeks off. We're awful beat up and sore. You know, we only had 8 healthy bodies for this game, and that probably played a factor too. But we'll take a couple weeks off, and then we'll do some individual work with the freshmen. But the big thing right now is recruiting.
Reaver women end with a record of 25-7. For the Bluffs Sports Zone, I'm Austin Heinen.
Thanks, Austin. Now here's a sight for sore eyes, huh? Bye-bye winter weather, we hope, and hello baseball season. But first, what's the scouting report on the Reavers? After the break.
For more than a quarter century, thousands of athletes have relied on this team, Jenny Ed Sports Med. Their sole focus is to prevent, diagnose, and treat your sports injury, getting you back in the action. Jenny Ed Sports Med partners with Neb Ortho, giving you consistent one-on-one care from diagnosis to rehab. And since every injury an athlete is different, they've even developed a sports injury clinic specifically designed for athletes. Jenny Ed Sports Med.
Selling cookies is about
the big picture.
You have to have a goal.
A big goal.
Something you and your team
want to do in the world.
We choose
where the money goes.
A trip, an adventure,
helping people out.
Helping a lot of people out.
And about the money,
we are responsible for it.
Handling it, managing it,
tracking it,
doing great things with it.
This is business.
Girl business.
The biggest girl-run business
in the world.
Did you think this was just about cookies?
Last year, an aberration. I mean, we're so used to the Iowa Western baseball team going to the JUCO World Series. 2013, an aberration. Had to be. Hope springs eternal for these boys of summer. And forget about rebuilding. The Reavers reload, looking for 2014 to be business as usual. Here's IDUB TV student Michael Byland.
Last year, Iowa Western fell short of a national tournament appearance for the first time since 2006. The Reavers are back to work.
Maybe not being out here in an ideal situation weather-wise, but we can really be out here when a lot of other people can't here in the Midwest, fortunate with the turf infield. So doing a lot of team stuff and just really doing a lot of things that we've done all fall, but doing them in some a little colder weather right now. More importantly than anything, at the junior college level, if you just flat out throw strikes, but if you can hit, and then hit some more. I mean, you know, when we won the national championship in 2010, we led the country in hitting. In 2012, we led the country in hitting. I mean, bottom line is you can show up and somehow do something offensively every day, whether it's hit the ball out of the yard, move runners, bunt them, whatever. And, you know, we just didn't do that in the district last year.
Gosh, they're just good to be around them. We all live together on the 4th floor of the Bricks, so I mean, it's good to just go in somebody's room after a tough practice and talk to them and hang out. Really just development through the year. That's what we try to do. These first few games are kind of like preseason for us, and we just got to get ready through that and then get into conference play and get hot at the end.
I think the biggest thing with us is we all live on the 4th floor. We got to be around each other non-stop 24/7 and a bunch of good guys, and being able to share common goals with each other. We all want to advance in level of baseball, and we just have a really good time around each other.
We're all together as one. I mean, everyone gets along with each other. We don't have separate groups. Everyone loves each other and really like it.
38 kids out here, the chemistry we have, the way they get along, it's the 24 hours in a day that they get along and that they really have built something strong. So I think it's really going to flow onto the field, and we got a chance to do some good things.
The Reavers will play 21 of their next 22 games at home. For the Bluffs Sports Zone, I'm Michael Byland.
Thanks, Michael. Next up, our play of the week, or make that belt on the other side.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Mother Nature must be a baseball fan. Iowa Western weathers Southeastern at home, like old times. Yeah, did you see the Reavers' home schedule? It's like they play forever at home at Doc Ross Field, starting with the 12th ranked Division II team in the country. Here's IDUB TV student Aaron Zach.
What a beautiful day to play baseball. Iowa Western hoping to open up their home season with a win against Southeastern. Jacob Sheldon Collins at bat, bottom of the first. Man on third, hits one up the middle. Dom Thompson Williams in to get the score. Reavers on board first, 1-0. still bottom of the first. Derek Francis pops one up. Confusion between second baseman and right fielder as they both drop the ball. Jake Scudder scores all the way from first. Home team up 2-0. We move now to the fifth, same score. David Parrott on third. Derek Francis again at bat, makes contact. That brings Parrott in for another score. It's now 3-0 Iowa Western. However, the story of the game would be the talented 6'7" ace Sean Johnson. Here gets the force to end the inning. The sophomore allows 3 hits and strikes out 4. While Sean was striking out Blackhawk batters, his teammates would go on to put more runs on the board. The Reavers win their season home opener 6-0.
Opening game of the season here for us for the spring season. You know, the opening game's always big. It's exciting. We ended up having beautiful weather. Maybe not ideal for most people, but here in the Midwest, when most people aren't still going to play at home for probably a couple more weeks, and you know the Reavers get out today. So yeah, Sean Johnson goes out, you know, and does great. We get him a lead early on. The big thing is he got into a couple jams late in a couple innings, but it was always with 2 outs. So you know when you're working with 2 outs, it's a lot easier than that being a leadoff double or triple and no outs. But a couple times it happened with 2 outs, and he could really control the damage that way and get that next hitter out, and that's a sign of a maturing pitcher.
After a few wins for the Reavers on Sunday and a win on Monday, Iowa Western is on a 7-game winning streak. For the Bluff Sports Zone, I'm Aaron Zack.
And now it's time for our Play of the Week, brought to you by Buena Vista University. 26-year-old Bud Crawford outboxes Ricky Burns to win the WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. Crawford's the first from the metro Omaha area to win a world title. And for that, the Bud Man with our Play of the Week. The Play of the Week is brought to you by Buena Vista University. Face-to-face classes start every 8 weeks, right here in Council Bluffs. And that's not all. Now we start with boxing and we'll end with boxing. The 3rd annual Ron Stander Boxing Championships are just a few rounds away. Mark it down, Mid-America Center, May 24th. The fight card gets underway around 6 o'clock. Now 10 to 15 amateur bouts featuring a lot of local kids. Should be fun. And while they're at it, going to raise some money for the Cobra Strikers Boxing Club in Council Bluffs. The 3rd annual Ron Stander Boxing Championships, and it's going to be pretty cool to see the Bluffs Butcher there. Interesting show, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's not every day you get a visit from a world champion. We watched some regional champs and, of course, took a look at some former national champions, and another championship season has just begun. So, until next week for the Bluff Sports Zone, I'm J.J. Davis, and as always, I'll see you around.